Hi everyone, this is Dr. Flo from My Year with Shakespeare, your expert in all things dagger, drama, blood and bodices. I'm a researcher of Renaissance literature and a writer of books for public audience on language, literature and culture. This here is my first book baby. It's a whimsical biography on the exclamation mark called An Admirable Point, and it whizzes through the history of the exclamation mark and the exclamation mark in culture, arts, cognitive science, texting, politics, and so much more. So if you're interested why Shakespeare never used an exclamation mark, how the exclamation mark got Trump banned from Twitter, and how you can up your online dating game through using lots of exclamation marks or none, the jury is still out on that, I invite you to have a look at the book. All the info about that is in the description box below. Now, 2023 is a momentous year for Shakespeare studies because 400 years ago, this big bad boy was printed, the Folio. It's called Master Shakespeare's Comedies, Histories and Tragedies. We also call it the Folio because of its size. It's a huge book, it's a luxurious book, and because of how it was printed back in the days. More about all the nuts and bolts of Renaissance book printing in another video. Now, why is the Folio so crucial? It's because of the nearly 40 plays that Shakespeare wrote, either on his own or together with other playwrights. 18 of those only exist in the Folio, so they have not been printed before, at least not that we know of or that we still have. So imagine such favorites as Macbeth or the Tempest would have been lost without the Folio. Now, Shakespeare was also famous before the Folio came out 7 years after his death, but this book really was the making of his name for posterity. So what can it still tell us today about the plays, about the man, about the time, and most of all, how can the Folio still be important for us today, whose lives have so fundamentally changed from those of 400 years ago? Or have they? So join me on a journey of Shakespeare throughout 2023. I will be reading one play or one poem a week throughout the entire year, and I will be posting each video on Saturdays. We will discuss what the plays are about, what the historical context is, what the theatrical context is, what are the themes, what are some questions. We'll do some close reading. We'll really get into the nitty-gritty of the lines and of the poetry of Shakespeare, because of course the style is one of the most interesting and delicious things about reading Shakespeare. We will also reflect on how the Folio can still be important for us today. What can it tell us about life? How can it talk back? Now, I would love for this to be a two-way conversation with you guys. So although we can't be in the same room together, poring over the text, maybe playing some scenes out, I would still love to have a conversation. So I would like to invite you to read the plays and the poems together with me at the same time. So I'll make sure that I post a link to the schedule below in the description. I will also give a reminder at the end of each video what the next video will be about, so you can prepare. And I would love for you to post some comments, some questions, or some themes, something that you think I should discuss in the upcoming video. Now, a quick word on editions. I will be, of course, using this big Folio here because that's what it is about. There are some versions of the plays that are maybe a little bit different in editions that you have read, and that's very common because very few people read from the Folio, actually. We will discuss all about the differences and about the word choices by editors when we reach the individual videos. For plays and poems that are not in the Folio, I'll be using the Arden editions here. Now, if you're curious about my work, I will invite you to have a look at my website. It's also in the description box below. I write on language, literature, punctuation, and Renaissance, either for my blog or for outlets like the BBC or the Guardian. And I also give online workshops. Those are creative writing workshops and literary interpretation. Now let's get going, and happy Shakespeare 2023. Why don't you let me know about your favorite play or your favorite line in the video below, and please don't forget to subscribe and like.